Hi viewers, welcome to another episode of On the Farm. We're vocal about everything local. I am Shakima Hanley. On this episode of On the Farm, we'll be speaking to the quarantine officer, Mr. Quincy Bart himself, as he's going to tell you about some of the importation and exportation procedures that you need to know. We know it's summertime, we know it's Culturama time, and we anticipate persons coming home, and of course want to take back a piece of what we have here to our shores for your home. So we want you to stick and stay, and we'll take a short commercial break and be right back after this.
She loves she clothes and bling. She loves she house and thing. Here and nails on right and party all night. She said, if you wanna be with me, if you wanna climb my tree.
Welcome back, viewers. I have here with me the quarantine official, and he's going to tell us about the importation, the exportation procedures for produce on the island. Quincy, let's start with the importation process. Tell us, what are some of the do's and don'ts and what quarantine department does?
The import procedure is a simple procedure. First, you come to the Department of Agriculture and let us know what you would like to import, whether it's seeds, fresh produce, or fruits and vegetables, or live plants. Then we'll guide you accordingly. For instance, if you want to import seeds, you bring a list of what you're expecting to bring and the seed company. At the Department of Agriculture, we have a seed list of approved seed companies that you can import from. However, if your company that you want to bring in is not on the list, you just have to submit it and we'll do research on it to make sure it meets the standards, and then we'll update the list, and then we'll grant you access of importing that seed. Also, it's for fresh produce such as fruits and vegetables. You could come to us, let us know where the country that you want to import from. We'll do a PRA, which is a pest risk analysis, to know whether if the country you're importing from is safe. Once the PRA is complete, we can give you access to importing, and you just fill out an import permit, and that import permit is valid for 30 days. On that first consignment. It only goes for one consignment. A consignment is a shipment of stuff you want to bring in. And then we have live plants, follows the same procedure as well.
Okay, so it's summertime.
Yes.
Culturama time.
Yes.
Everybody coming back home. And of course, everybody might want to go back home with some local fruits. Mango in season, scallop in season, everything in season. Tell the public what is the procedure that they have to take before they can leave the island with these stuff.
So before you leave the island of stuff, you have to know what you want to bring. That's the first thing. Then you bring all of the samples to the Department of Agriculture Plant Quarantine Office. However, we can make accommodations if you have a lot of stuff that might be too heavy. You could make an appointment and we'll be able to go on site and inspect the stuff right there, and we'll be able to give you a pass. So the pass involves a phytosanitary certificate. This is a document that states that a plant quarantine officer has inspected your produce and it meets the standards of the importing country. So that's about it for the phytosanitary certificate. So on inspection, it's very important to bring that your produce is of good standards.
Okay.
So here, as you said, it's mango season. And if you want to bring in mangoes, you have to have certain guidelines. For the first guidelines, things like mango concentrate, mango, dehydrated mango, anything that goes under some sort of processing does not require any phytosanitary certificate because it goes through a process, and that process reduces any risk of pest and disease to transferring. Then the next thing again you have to look at is where the mangoes are heading to. For the mainland US, no mangoes are permitted to the mainland US, such as Florida, California, New York, due to our incidence of fruit flies, incidence of mango seed weevils. So those things you cannot bring. However, you can process the mangoes, as we said before, whether if it's in concentrate, syrup, pulp, or you could cut the mango, remove the seed, and freeze it. That's the only way that you can export the mangoes.
Okay.
And then once it's in a area that can be exported, you have to know how the mango is done. For instance, overripeness is a big no-no. Cleanliness is a big no-no. So all produce must be free from soil. No damages, as you see here. This is a mango that you pick it and it fell on the ground and there's a softy area. No mango is supposed to be like this. Also diseased mangoes, any black spots and those type of things, no, a big no-no. So they should be free from any pests and diseases. Mangoes, full mangoes, green mangoes, depending on what you want to do with them. These are all mangoes that are permitted.
So outside of fruits, so you have some other packages here. So if
Yes.
you want to take dry fruits, how would that be done?
Dry fruits, they are considered low risk as well. So if you have chips, this is low risk because they undergo some sort of heat. These are gooseberry, raisins. This is also a low risk as well.
So they must be sealed and packaged like this, or if I dry my mangoes or dry my fruit and put it in a plastic bag, is that acceptable?
Well, in terms of the fresh mangoes itself, it is preferably where you package them. If you have a lot of mangoes, you package them in a box.
Okay.
Or if you have a little bit, that can be stored in your suitcase. You package it in a plastic bag and you label. Labeling is always key.
Okay.
And once you reach your final destination, you have to disclose it at customs. You know, when you have this paper, the declaration form, you tick yes, you have stuff, and then an officer from the plant quarantine officer from the exporting country would verify your contents.
Okay, so outside of mangoes, because we've been talking about mangoes a lot, what about skinny, guinea, those kind of
Yes.
different terms?
So, guineps, breadfruit, these are things we call highly perishable items. So that's where judgment of the customer comes in play. So if you're going away, say Friday, you come here the Thursday, you don't want to wait and harvest the breadfruit Monday, time when you reach, it's ripe on you. It's just like the guinea as well. You make sure you wait until close to your time when you want to leave.
Okay, what about bush? Tea bush?
Tea bush, we always try to let people come with the tea leaves, dried or semi-dried, packed in a Ziploc bag and labeled. So those are very important for those type of, we call them condiments. Same thing goes with the live plants. We come, we inspect the healthiness of the plant. We inspect if we have any dry leaves, dead branches, and the most important thing is that we do not permit soil overseas. The only country that is permitted soil right now is Statia. Any other island, we have to remove the soil, we pot it in a inert media such as a potting mix, whether it is peat, perlite, pro-mix, and we repot it. And then you can, then it comes legible to be exported. And the Department of Agriculture, we offer this service as well for a small little fee. So the cost of these permits is $5 EC right now. However, we trying to revamp our import and phytosanitary certificates, so that price might change at a later date.
For higher or lower?
Well, when we see the permits, we have a little discrepancies where people come and they highlight. For instance, you trying to sell guava with 4 or 5 watermelon. The cost is $5. However, a large importer comes in and he order a 40-foot container of watermelons. That's the same price.
Okay.
So we trying to rectify that price to make it a little more fair. So the person who would order a large amount, the import permit would be just a little more than those who order in a small amount.
Okay, you made mention of removing the soil from this and putting it in your own soil for a small price. Is that price worked out as yet?
Yes, depending on the amount, the propagation unit would set the price for you.
Okay.
So when you come, the propagation unit would tell you if you have 5 pots, it will cost X amount. But I'm not too certain the exact cost. They have their cost listing.
Okay. I see you have a watermelon here. These are much larger. How would you be able to export a watermelon like this?
Well, these watermelons, the larger stuff, people could mostly, they pack them in boxes, they could pack them in pallets, those type of things there. For instance, as I said, that if you have a whole field, it might not be feasible for you to come with the whole shipment. So you can book an appointment with us and we come and we inspect them.
All right, so you explained all the procedures and you made mention of phytosanitary certificate,
Yes.
importation document. So we have an example here. Just briefly explain what is it, how is it filled out?
So the phytosanitary certificate composed of the identification mark, which is Nevis, and then you have our national logo. Then you have a clause, and then the date, the officer who will inspect you. In case of a plant and the importing country requires some sort of treatment, you have the treatment that goes here. Now the description of consignment, so the exporter says their name, John Doe, address, Bart Village, number of packages, 1 box, distinguishing mark. So the distinguishing mark means if John Doe is carrying the consignment with him, he would put as address. However, if he is carrying it to Mary Jane in Anguilla, he puts Mary Jane address, name. So origin, it goes in Nevis. Means of convenience, he'll either carry it on aircraft, which is plane, boat, or it can be postal shipment. Point of entry, where it's going to, Anguilla. Quantity of produce, you have mangoes, you have plants, and watermelon. And then we put a disclaimer, say no liable shall attach to the Department of Agriculture of any convenience of the officer, and the officer signs, and there's a stamp, and then when he gets to the exporting country, after he fill out his declaration form, he gives the officer this, and the officer would do a quick inspection and then let him pass through.
Okay.
So that's about it for the import and exporting procedures. So I wish everyone a happy festive season, and come to the Department of Agriculture to declare your stuff. Thank you.
Mr. Bart. Thank
All
you for
right.
your good job. All right, we take a short commercial break and be right back after this.
Fresh local fruit and vegetables produced for our nourishment. Buy local, eat local.
Our planet may be called Earth, but its surface is made up mostly of water. Water flows within us and is the driving force that unites all nature. Water is food, prosperity, energy, life. Yet today, too many people go without it, while others take it for granted. Care for water. Cultivate a sustainable future. Water is life. Water is food.
And there you have it, viewers. Another episode of On the Farm. We'll be vocal about everything local. Just to recap this episode, we spoke to Mr. Quincy Bart, the quarantine officer, who was able to give us insight on the importation and exportation procedures for items coming in and leaving our shores. Also, we are reminding you about our fruit festival on August 2nd, Friday, August 2nd, at the Charleston waterfront. We have cake competition, ice cream making competition, fruit eating competition, Casanova band, DJ X-Ray, and also the quarantine officer man himself will be right there to help you to sign off on your sanitary items if you want to take any of our nice, fresh, local produce back to your home. Until next time, I am Shakima Hanley. Remember, we are vocal about everything local. Bye!